I am the oracle Apollo. Come share your light with me. These messages I follow, restoring balance unto thee. Do not be afraid, you're part of saving grace. Do not hesitate, let's reignite your faith. Divine encounters are all alive. Divine encounters, our lives designed. I am the oracle Apollo.
Thank you for joining me, the Oracle of Apollo. I am your hostess, Dominique Rivera, and you are watching Divine Encounters. Thank you so much for being here. This is not a passive viewing experience, but one where you will be shifting your own energy. So ensure you have your high quality H2O with you during this feed to accelerate in the moving of any energy. But first, to your health, wealth, and prosperity. Today is Wednesday, and you guys know that means supernatural story time. Super stoked to be here. I'm a little under the weather today, so hopefully I'm not coughing up a lung, hacking up a lung. As a matter of fact, just in case, lower your headphones down just a tad, just for this episode. Make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing to get notified and turn that little bell on. This way you know when I am live streaming. I'm live streaming at you every Sunday and Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And Sunday nights, join me because I'm going to be doing your blessings and horoscopes forecast for the week. Excuse me. And if you enjoy this feed, make sure that you join my group, meetup.com/awakened Philadelphia. And I have monthly meditations and monthly healings on there. And this is a totally free group to join. And make sure that you're sharing this message with a friend, because sharing this message automatically enters you into winning a personal channeled angel message from me. And if you yourself or you know someone who's had a divine experience and they want to share that here on Divine Encounters, please email me at divineencounters@e360tv.com. Hello, Lori Gianetta. Thank you for being here. And I'm actually going to be putting right now into the comment section a link. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I'm just going to post it here for now. And I'm going to bring my guests on. So give a big Divine Encounters welcome. Throw some heart emojis up on the screen and some thumbs up for our guest. And she's going to lead you into her supernatural story time today. And hopefully make what seemed impossible seem possible.
Hi.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Putting you right back to work right after vacation.
Right, exactly.
And I love that you're in pink too today, because that is the all Divine Encounters setup over here with the pink. It's like you were channeling that goddess energy and bringing it on today.
Well, I appreciate it. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. Like, I put on my thing like full circle. Do you remember how we met, right?
Yes, but you can tell the audience at home.
So how I met this amazing woman is I was on tour and I completely did everything myself. I wrote the book, I self-published, I did all of the publishing and the touring information. And so I'm calling around from city to city. And I don't even remember how I found the name of the space that you are. Are you still in the same space?
Actually, Howl, Spirit told me a year before COVID happened that we would be closing down in March. And when my lease was up, March 23rd, I knew I wasn't going to get a new lease. Mm-hmm. And then a few days later, COVID happened and they shut the whole city down.
Wow. Oh my
so
God.
I was told a year in advance.
wow. I mean, and that's exactly like how we met. It was just so divine. You were just so open and amazing. Here I am, this stranger saying, hey, I'm touring and I need a space to be in Philadelphia, which I haven't been in since I was a kid. And you were like, yes, come please. And it was just, that was one of the most amazing things that happened while I was in Philadelphia, because I think that night it may have been like 4 of us or maybe 5 of us, but it was just so inviting. I mean, we cried, these strangers who had never met before, we opened up, and it was just a great, wonderful, unexplainable, divine time.
Look at this.
Oh my God, you were there! Oh my God, how crazy is that? Oh my goodness. And I still follow people from that time frame. And I remember one of the young women that was there, I still follow her, and I saw all the different things that she was going through that night, and how over the last 2 years she's just progressed, and she's happy. I mean, that's a huge word to say, to be happy.
That is a huge word.
And so it was just great. Just and amazing. I can't believe it's been 2 years.
It has been 2 years, and I'm honored to have, when I had that space, that physical space, it was more about giving opportunities to those people who otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunities, regardless of the size or the amount of people that were coming or going or whatever have you, a platform, right? So I made that space into a space secure for everybody and that would welcome everybody. And upon closing that space, when Spirit told me a year in advance, okay, it's time, and a year from now you're going to close, I had to really, it hurt to hear them say you're going to have to close in a year, but we have something bigger and better for you. Mm-hmm. And you have to just trust that when it happens, right? Because they guide you through every step of the way. And upon closing that space, Divine Encounters was born, and we've been able to do that for people at home now. Mm-hmm. They're at home, even though we can't see them. I get plenty of stories where it's like, wow, I cried so profoundly today. I was able to release. The guest that was on the show was able to teach me something I wasn't aware of, and people are growing and expanding right from in their own homes. So I feel like, as I always said at Howl, when I told everyone that I would be here for a very short time, I already knew that was the mission. There was a short period of time, and everyone would say, no, you can never leave. And I said, but one day I will. Mm-hmm. And Howl is a place inside of you, because it's healing ourselves while learning. And it was never a physical location to be imprinted as a physical location, but a place within us. So I'm grateful. And with that being said, Miss Liddy, I'm going to go ahead and start this episode off. I like to kick it off every episode with the good news to raise the vibe and kind of bring in a positive note. And usually like a overall theme. Before we even get into it, this is always like an overall theme. So let's see what the good news is today. And to that I say, what's good? Okay. Oh, we have the echo. There we go. Here is the good news card for today. And excuse that I don't have it in perfect alignment. Let's get it a little bit. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, here we go. Breath of the cosmos. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. When we rely only on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We are rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our own personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to everyone around us, and they can also feel it. And the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and to trust the breath of life, to surrender to the greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. And when you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little, you will find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish, control, and release the way you think things should be, and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. How is that not just in alignment with what we were just talking about?
Perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And you said it. You said it.
It is that's the overarching theme for this segment, and I know it, and I know it. So usually I have a question for the collective here, but instead of a question for you all today, I actually have an activation. And Miss Lori says, I'm glad to do these sessions. I'm so happy that they serve you. So we're going to just place our hands on our heart, and we're going to call in some energy. And everyone's going to repeat after me. I'm willing to stop relying
I'm willing to stop relying
on my own strength and personal agenda,
on my own strength and personal agenda,
and instead surrender to the breath of life.
and instead surrender to the breath of life.
Dear God or universe,
Dear God or universe,
help me move from my will to thy will.
help me move from my will to thy will.
Please lead me.
Please lead me.
Please show me the way.
Please show me the way.
And just take a second, everybody at home and Jessica, and just breathe that in. And notice how that feels inside your body. Oh, just letting all that go and surrendering all those weights. And when you're ready, just come back. And literally, that felt like I just gave away like a whole bunch of luggage. I don't know if anybody else felt that kind of release, but I did. How about you, Jess?
I'm here. A little bit about before. I need that. I need that.
I understand. So I like to start. Thank you for being here, by the way, because we're both under the weather. So I think it's really fitting for this whole episode that this is happening this way. We're going to go into an energy clearing. And for you all at home, if you've never done this with me before, all you need is an intention. And we're going to breathe for 1 minute with that intention. So place your hands, palms up, facing up. And we're going to get into that. But before we do, I need everyone at home to be honest with yourself and take an honest assessment of where you are at energetically in this moment. From 1 to 10, this is the least amount of energy I could possibly hold in my body. That's a 1. And 10, this is the most amount of energy I can have in my body. I feel effervescent and bubbly, and I have all the energy of the whole world inside me. My wheel is hitting something. So let me know where you are all at, and just take a moment and check it out. Okay, so for myself today, I feel like since I'm under the weather, I feel like I'm at a 7 today. How about you, Miss Jessica?
Definitely 6.
A 6. And then Lori Gianetta says that she's at an 8, which is pretty good. So we're going to go ahead now. I'm going to call in a team. We're going to have an intention, and we're all going to breathe for 1 minute. This is 60 seconds on the clock, and just a reminder for yourself to stop today and just pause and take a breath in. And just notice what that pause feels like. Notice the surrendering of all of those weights from earlier to the universe. And just feel yourself giving it all away, pausing everything else and just giving it all away, breathing in strength, courage, vitality. All the necessary resources are being uplifted and remembered within your cellular memory, and exhaling the baggage, the burdens, the story, the labels, the judgments, and the limitations, and breathing in possibility, nurturing strength, and exhaling what no longer serves you, and just continuing to breathe this energy in and let this fully expand within you, going into your muscles and tendons, down into your cellular memory, and just continue to breathe that in and releasing what is no longer of service to you, and just feel yourself fall in, all falling in into that 1 minute of breath. Nowhere else to be, no way to rush it, just letting go and being. And with that being said, final breath in, thanking yourself, and bringing that left and right palm to touch each other in front of your heart space. Namaste. And you guys can open your eyes at home and then let me know in the comment section below, where are you at now? And what did you feel during your shift? So what I felt or what I'm feeling is a lot of tension actually leaving my face. And there's like 400 meridians in our faces of acupressure. We don't even realize. But right here, this little spot is tensing up really tight and letting go. So that's what I have. And then right here too in my temple. So I know I'm letting go of a lot here. How about you, Miss Jessica?
I feel like I literally just realized that I should have did this like 3 days ago. Should have did this like 3 days ago. Oh, because I haven't done that. I haven't relaxed. I haven't taken a breath. And I'm like, maybe that's what I needed instead of just being curled up in a ball, feeling sorry for myself.
And you know what though? The reminder is that we just took 1 minute
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. That's all we needed was to shift ourselves was that 1 minute of breathing and letting go. Miss Uriel, she is giving us the double fingers and the happy face. Renata says she was at a 7, which is pretty low for her. Under the weather as well, peaceful 8, and now she's at a 9. And then Lori Janetta says she is at a 9.5. So she went up like 2.5 points. Thank you, Lori Janetta. All right. So we are here for the Woman of the Hour. Miss Jessica Key has an amazing supernatural story time for you all today. And I'm going to let her take the stage here and let her share her story with you guys. And without further ado, the floor is yours, my lady.
All right. So let me start off by like giving you like a little bit of background on me. So I grew up, I'm a PK. If you don't know what a PK is a preacher's kid. Okay. And so being a PK all my life, it was literally Jesus, 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 like my whole entire life, which, you know, I have no regrets of that. There would have been nothing I could do about that anyway, because that's who my parents were. So that's who I was. And so that was my like complete background. However, when you become an adult, you get to make your own decisions. You get to make your own choices on, you know, where you want to go, what path you want to follow. And so going into adulthood, I stayed with my parents at their church. And right around the age of like 27, I decided to leave my parents' church. And for a few years, I wasn't even in church. And one day my best friend was like, oh, you should come to church with me. So I went. And I ended up like joining the church, but it was like 4 years later. So I was literally visiting this church for 4 years, right? But even then, I still wasn't as deeply in as I was and have been. And let me be very specific. When I say Jesus, 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 as a child, as a youth, up until 19 or 20, we were at church like 5 to 6 days a week. Like we were always in church. You hear me? So think about always and then boom, nothing. So that was my background. That was my experience. And I've always felt connected to God. I mean, that's the only thing I was taught, you know, like I can tell you stories of just me like knowing and feeling his presence in me. So fast forward, I'm an adult and I'm not going to church at all. And I started dating someone who, for whatever reason, he was the complete opposite of me. He had been in prison. I never dated anybody. I'm a woman that has 4 degrees. I'm very well spoken. I look great on paper. So for me to be dating somebody that was previously incarcerated was just a bit different. But he had a good game. He was very attractive, chocolate, bald head, you know, he was good. He was good. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. You know, he was putting it down. I'm just being honest. So quickly, things move very quickly. And the reason why things move very quickly is because I wasn't settled in my spirit. I was intermingled in relationship with someone that wasn't a true relationship. And rather than really severing those ties and finally putting my foot down and saying no, I ran to this new guy. And when I say I ran, again, I'm going to be really specific. I'm very open. This was like we met maybe September 28th. We were living together November 3rd. So it was very quick. Laying it down, okay? It was quick. So in that time frame, it was just easy for me to run into that. And I've known that men have been, quote unquote, my issue my whole life. They've been a distraction for me to be able to do stuff. I'm like, ooh, I want a man. And not
a piece of candy.
Not a factor of loneliness, just a factor of, I love a man. I mean, they're beautiful. They're wonderful. So I meet this guy September 28th. We move in together November 3rd. And maybe about 4 months later, I found out that he was like cheating on me, and I stayed. We went on vacation together. And then about 6 months later, I found out he was cheating on me again. I stayed. We went on vacation. Like, things just go on vacation. You'll stay, And so while we were on vacation, somehow, y'all, I don't know how, we decided we was getting married. Don't ask me how. I don't know. Okay. No ring, no nothing. We just getting married. So a little bit about me. I'm a thrifter and I'm a planner. So I immediately started planning this wedding. And I remember specifically, it was December when we decided we were going to get married, right? The wedding was going to be, a year from there, but it was so much stuff on sale. So, I just started just buying stuff. I had 9 30-gallon tubs of wedding stuff that I had got on sale. 9 30-gallon.
I almost killed myself on that one. I almost choked on my own spit and died. But that's a lot.
So I had truly been shopping. So I did all this shopping. We were having some technical difficulties, and I could go more into details. That's one of the links that she put in is actually the book that I wrote, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm doing all this shopping, not going to church. I'm completely, at this time, I was when I met the love of my life at that point, I was 254 pounds, right? So just keep that number in mind. And doing all of this stuff, shopping, not going to church. I was eating really well because I had just lost like 60 or 70 pounds. So I'm eating very healthy. And he had just literally gotten out of prison like less than 8 months previous to us meeting. So he had that body was banging. You heard me? 6-pack, 12-pack. The body was banging. However, it's the difference when you're incarcerated and when you're eating out in the real world. So while I'm trying to make salads and bake tilapia and, green beans, he was like, nah, I just want macaroni and cheese with extra cheese, broccoli with extra cheese, and fried chicken. So I was making like 2 meals a day. And then finally I was like, I can't let me just eat what he eating and I'm going to still work out. So you're noticing the trend that's kind of going on. We meet September 28th. We move in November 3rd. I start cooking. I start eating, their relationship, whatever. Their relationship that's what they call it. So fast forward, because all of this was really in like an 18-month span. We were having some difficulties. I caught him in a few lies. And I was sitting at home one day. Out of all things that I could have been watching, I was watching the Beyonce On the Run tour. And I know some people are huge Beyonce fans. It was a good show. Good show, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on the couch at home by myself, hadn't been going to church. And this is my biggest takeaway from all of this. Growing up, always being in church, I understand the fellowship of being around people of like minds. But what I realized sitting on that couch that day, having not been in church in years, was that God will find you wherever you are. You don't have to be in a building. Sitting on the couch watching Beyonce, I clearly heard his voice.
I claim that for you, man.
He said one word. He said, no. And at first I was tripping. I started looking around. I was like, what is? So I'm like, okay, let me finish. Whatever the song was. And I heard the word no again. Now, let me pause before I continue with this. About 4 months previous to this, we went truck shopping for him because his car broke down. We went truck shopping for him. I was sitting in the car dealership getting ready to co-sign for this car for the person I was marrying. And I clearly heard God say, no. And I was like, literally in my mind, I was having this conversation, but I love him and he had a great job. He can pay for the truck, but I heard him. I heard God say, no, don't do this. It was very clear. It was as clear as me talking right now. And I was like, no, I love him. And I'm having this argument. And I signed the paperwork. So fast forward 4 months later, I'm sitting on the couch. I hear God again. He says, no. So I said, I know you're not telling me not to marry this man. I got 9 30-gallon tubs of wedding stuff in here. At this point, I had already won 3 honeymoons. I had dishes. I'm telling you, I was on a roll. I'm a thrifter. This is what I do.
When you heard it, what for people at home who don't understand, can't conceptualize, what did she mean? She heard it.
I mean, the only way I can say it is just think about being in a room and everybody's talking and there's this voice. And of course, the voice is in your head. I mean, sometimes people kind of get things misconstrued. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't even thinking about him. He was at work. But I knew that it was God because I got this. For me, when I hear God's voice, it's kind of like a chill. And once I feel the chill, I feel it in my stomach. And a lot of times I try to shake it off because I want to do whatever I want to do. So as you were reading and you had us repeat after you, I'm like, it's not about what I want to do. I need to make sure that I'm aligned with what it is that he wants to do. And he does not want this for my life. And as I'm hearing this, no, I'm literally having this argument because I'm like, who is saying no? Like, I'm getting married. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not that chick that's like, oh, I want to get married. I got to be married by the time. That's not me. That's not me. So I literally I started crying because I was scared. Because the thing about following God is that you don't know the plan he has for you. And you have to be so connected to him that you trust what it is that you hear and that you're not crazy. And that's how people get confused and get messed up because they just like, well, was it him or was it me? I can't tell you that. You have to know that for yourself. I know for me, having 9 30-gallon tubs in the other room, I was like, no, Jesus, I'm getting married. I don't know what you're talking about. But after having already been disobedient the first go around and not even knowing, y'all, the rest of the story, it was hard. But when he came home, I actually didn't tell him I wasn't going to marry him because I wasn't being fully obedient. I said, let's postpone the wedding. Let's postpone. And then I went from let's postpone the wedding to maybe we should just not live together and kind of take a break and live our lives. Because the thing about it is that you can't be halfway. Whatever you're going to do in your life, you got to be all the way. And for me, Bible-wise, you were hot or you cold. What are you doing? And he felt that I was being disconnected. And long story short, we ended up breaking up. Can you believe it? And the bad part about this, and this is what I really want people to take away from this, is I broke off the engagement in April. We finally stopped seeing each other August 26th because I was hard-headed. It took a while. And by the time December hit, I was suing him in small claims court because for him to get back at me for breaking up with him, because he cheated again, obviously he was a cheater, he stopped paying the car note. So it took another 6 months of me going to court, spending money to get the vehicle back because I had to sue him over the property. And it went on my credit. I mean, it was a whole ordeal. So think about this. Had I just listened in January when it was clearly don't sign this, don't do this, don't do this, I wouldn't have not have had to experience all of these different things. Now, the good thing is that God was truly with me. Like between December and July, Dominic, my anxiety, like I can't even, my anxiety was so bad because I was literally trying to find this vehicle because he stopped driving it. He hid it. I mean, my anxiety, if you ever are looking for a red truck, every truck was red. Every truck was a red F-150. Every single truck that I was having issues sleeping. By the time I ended the relationship, remember earlier I said 254. By the time I ended the relationship and started going back to the gym, I was 319 pounds.
Wow.
From overeating in the relationship, from being stressed out, from just not being true to who I was. And so what I did over time, I took time and I got back to me. And the book that I ended up writing, and here's the irony out of all of that, out of all the heartache, out of all the pain, the book that I wrote is not about him. The book is actually about me. It's called Confessions of a Butterfly, which that's my stage name because I'm a poet, relationships, food, and self-esteem, right? So what I talk about is my experience with not truly believing that I was beautiful, not truly believing that I was this amazing woman from elementary all the way. And I think the book stops in 2019. And I talk about my weight loss struggle and the things that I suffered with and dealt with as a woman in regards to the men that I dated and the choices that I made. That it didn't have anything to do with them. It had everything to do with the person that was within me and how I was not listening. You know, there are so many different times where I clearly heard him saying, "Hey, this is not for you. Abort, abort." But I did anyway. And so I tell people all the time, like, and I'll tell you something that's really crazy to me. After I canceled my wedding, and like, mind you, I won 3 honeymoons and I won a photographer for the wedding as well. So I gave away the photographer. I went on one of the honeymoons with my cousins. And once I started like openly talking to people about it, I met at least 3 men who told me that they never should have been married. And all 3 of the men were divorced. One man told me that he got into a physical fight with his wife the day of the wedding. Wow. But it was 300 people at the wedding and they decided to get married anyway.
Wow.
And I mean, each one of the stories was like crazy. But he said the reason, each one of them said the reason why they got married was not because of the person, but it was because of the obligation of other people. And I said to myself, I would never do that. And I even had somebody tell me, because I lost, like out of all the money I spent, I think I lost like maybe $250. And I was just like, it's not worth it for me for my happiness, because people was planning on coming to a wedding a year from now. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I think about all of the heartache and the frustration and the anxiety and the sleepless nights, if I just would have listened and not try to do my own thing. And I think a part of it really boils down to, and I know this sounds crazy, but people want to believe in people.
You do. Yeah, we do.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Like I'm the most optimistic person you will ever.
And as women, we're nurturers.
Yeah. Like he didn't steal the cookie and you see the chocolate chip crumbs on. Well, maybe somebody bumped into him and the chocolate chip cookie got on his face. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in writing the book, when I wrote the book, it was the most cleansing thing I have ever done in my life, because I was able to just write out all the heartache and all of the pain and actually talk about why I felt like I felt this way and why I made some of those decisions. And it was, to me, it was like birthing a child, because I was able to talk about like, this is what he did, but he only did it because I allowed him to do it to me. This is the experience I had with this young man, but it was only because I allowed that and I didn't walk away. This was my experience with this person. So I think I discussed like 5 important men in my frame of weight loss and my journeys and how those different situations dealt with me losing weight and gaining weight because of myself, because I don't blame anybody for the food that I put in my mouth.
Right.
because it took years for me to realize that you don't have to do that. You know, you can go for a walk, you can have a conversation with somebody, you can meditate.
But I
Um,
also believe like in our culture and in the way we're upbrought, it's like, you're sad. Do you want an ice cream?
yes. Are you happy? Let's go celebrate with some jelly or whatever.
Yep.
Always food.
Food.
Our lives are consumed with food, and that's something that in my weight loss journey, because I'm still on a weight loss journey, is that what I learned is that it's a moment by moment thing. Everything that we do, people say, "Oh, take it a day at a time." No, you can't take it a day at a time. Everything we do is second by second, moment by moment.
Yes.
And when you want to talk about food, food is everywhere, and you need it to actually live.
Yes.
Even if you're on a water diet, you're drinking the water. You know what I'm saying? Because you need something to nourish your body. So second by second, moment by moment. And the biggest thing is what I really struggled with was forgiving myself for allowing all of that to happen. It took me a long time to forgive myself for staying with somebody who was emotionally abusive and who played on my feelings and my givingness and my willingness to be optimistic and be trusting. And I'm also a very loyal person, even with him being disloyal. So forgiving myself, it wasn't a matter of me forgiving him. It was a matter of me forgiving myself for making those mistakes, as if I'm like some superhuman.
Right. But if we admit that the mistakes were made, we start to chastise and criticize ourselves. Like, I'm stupid. How did I not see that? Blah 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 blah. And then all this story comes along with it.
Yep.
You know what? This has been spectacular. With all of this, let's come right back to your final thoughts. But first, let's go to a word of our sponsor, and we'll be right back. Thank you for joining me. I'm your hostess, Dominique Rivera, and you are watching Divine Encounters. And don't forget that every step of the way starts with an intention. So ensure that you're setting your intentions with something strong, like Intention Pen. IntentionPen.com, use Oracle 7 and get your intention pen today. Using my code will also get you free engraving. So also, one last thing, I do have a class coming up August 14th. If you want to develop your abilities to see, hear, know, and experience more of the angels and build relationships with the angels, please message me because I do have that class coming up. It's a 1-day class and I'm only doing it one time. All right, here we go. We are back. Okay, my heart, guess what time it is?
Is it final thought time or is it audience question time?
It is a time where we make you very uncomfortable and we're going to play a psychic game. So grab the kitties, grab the husband, grab the wife, because we're about to play the Apollo games. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. I'm going to put a question up here. And, we got an O under here. I'm going to put a question up here. And the question is, what am I about to reveal? This will be multiple choice. And all you have to do is guess or predict the correct answer. And if you win, you'll get from me the Oracle of Apollo, a social distancing high five. So here we go.
What will I reveal? Deer, dove, chinchilla, donkey. Put your comment in the comment section below. Notice why you got it right or why you got it wrong.
Deer, dove, chinchilla, or donkey are your options. Put your answer in the comment section below now. Okay, you, my friend, are the one in the hot seat. So you have to be the first one to pick.
I say dove.
Dove, I like it. And Sebastian says deer, and he hits the little champagne glasses. Sherry McQueen, she is saying dove. All right, so let's see here and bring up the answer and see if you guys got it right.
What will I reveal? Deer, dove, chinchilla, donkey. Put your comment in the comment section below. Notice why you got it right or why you got it wrong. Okay, reveal time. Did you say, oh dear?
I love it.
They truly are hillbillies.
When you come to Puerto Rico, we'll do with different animals. I was sitting and minding my own business, but first business. High five to you, Sebastian, who got it. And if you got it right, hashtag replay winner. There you go. But I was sitting and this is my new cousin's house. And my new cousin, we went to 23andme.com. We got the little thing done and we found out we have family in West Virginia. And he's messaging us, we are in the sticks. We're in the sticks. We're hillbillies. Da, 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 da. So I'm sitting in the living room and then he talks to his daughter. He's like, go grab the deer out of your bedroom. And I was like, what? Like grab the deer out, like a deer? Like I'm thinking she's about to bring a plushie out or like, I don't know what she's bringing out. And then the deer literally walks out of her bedroom and I'm cracking up. Like this is the best moment in my whole life right now.
It was a beautiful deer. And I started to say deer and I was like, but I like doves.
There was also a dove there. Oh, okay, guys. So thank you for participating in that. As always, building your intuition is recognizing when your body is telling you yes to something. And that's why we do these intuition games. And this is so that when you do hear spirit speak to you in whichever manner that comes to you in, that you recognize it clearly as an answer for the go ahead. And that's going to help you make decisions or make better choices in our everyday lives. So it's good to cultivate that. Now we're going to go into what we call the midweek collective energy, the midweek collective reading. And I'm going to pop you in the back room, Miss Jessica, and we're going to see what the forecast is for you and for everybody at home. Yes. Okay. So we're going to go now and do the midweek collective energy check-in, and then we're going to bring Jess back up. She's going to give us her final thoughts. I don't have an actual winner today for the episode, but what I think I'm going to do, you guys comment something in the comment section, and whoever's left here, I will pull one card for each of you.
There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me.
Okay, midweek collective energy check-in. Let's bring what you need to know, how you can grow, and what you need to let go of. So let's go here first. What we need to know for the midweek is enjoy life's little luxuries, spend quiet time alone, successful self-employment. So I feel like here, if you're looking for work, if you're trying to start a project or get it off the ground, it's showing that the wheels are finally spinning here and that traction is taking control. It's also recognizing the life's little luxuries. And I actually made a post about that today. I took a picture in front of the lake. And basically, I just described the lake with all of my senses and appreciated each of the senses that I had to use in order to have that experience. This is an attitude of gratitude. This is how we can grow. Make each day count. So we see a theme here already. This is about being in the present moment. This is about recognizing the blessings we have in each and every moment. Because when we recognize those blessings, guess what? It's not that it's not just that we're full of joy, although that's really our life mission, but we wind up being in alignment. Because when we're in a state of gratitude, we're in a state of flow and in a state of blessings, and we recognize them for what they are. So we stay in that alignment. So when information comes to us, it's much more clear and it's not as subtle. So this way, our day to day doesn't become as difficult. And when we're met with challenges, we can face them with a whole heart instead of a half empty heart or half empty body. What we need to let go of. A win-win outcome is forecast. So there's a lot of positive energy here. So I feel like what I want to say with this is to let go that something might be unfair around you, because this is what we're talking about, justice here. When we see the Themis, Lady Themis from Greek mythology, her scales of justice here. So let go of the idea that something won't be favorable for you. I want to say stay in a positive mindset as well. If you are working through something legal, still stay in a positive mindset and speak expectantly upon whatever it is that you're building. This could be writing a book. This could be starting a podcast, getting a new job, moving from place to place, a new relationship. But it's saying here, stay positive. We have that full moon in Libra. Libra is a very romantic sign. But in additional to that, this is full moon. And we're jumping into that full moon energy here on the 23rd. And the moon represents mysteries and things that are not seen to us. So it's kind of like asking, you may not see all of the steps, but as long as you take that first one, the next one will reveal itself. And then you just have to have faith to continue moving forward. And let's see what the power animal is for the collective. And it is joy, just like I stated. And this whole reading is very, very uplifting. It says lighten up. Where have you been too rigid? Where can I enjoyed a lot of children's laughter this week. And it was so beautiful. And as they were playing, I heard within myself intuitively, it was like, you see, the children, they do what feels joyful and they don't ask for the consequence of that joy. They just do what feels joyful because that is them. They are coming from the oneness, the source. They're like concentrated source energy. So children can imbue or embody that energy much easier than an adult can. So I feel like I want to say, lighten up to your childlike whimsy. See where children can teach you at this week. Try to find a way that you can learn from child and work with your inner child as well. Find ways to be joyful, be grateful so that joy can follow. And then we have a message for heaven. And the message for heaven is for anybody who feels like they have lost someone in heaven and need a message from them. And we have 2 cards here. Normally only 1 card comes out. And it says, my death was painless. Please do not worry or hold on to guilt. So if you feel like you have someone who crossed over, recognize that, I have been in a few hospice situations, but I've also been in non-hospice situations where the angels had gave me sight into an illness. And I want to let you all know is that as we're nearing that end of our seasons, our many seasons here, but they do come to an end, the angels stand by you and you are not in pain. You are out of your body. You are watching from above. And so this is what they're saying. My death was painless. So let go of that guilt of how it looked like to the human. It could have been a gunshot. It could have been a car accident. However, it may have been something so outrageous, but it's saying it was painless. And then your crossed over loved ones also saying, I am here helping you. I am here helping you. So they're letting you know that I feel like they're sending you messages. They're sending you signs here, kind of like, hey, look at me. And that they're assisting you on making your decisions and moving you forward in life. And finally, we're going to do the angel blessings. And the angel blessing is not a tarot card, it's an actual blessing. Claim it in the comment section below because the angels always want to work with you, but they respect your free will. And you are being blessed, like I stated earlier, with faith that you're going to be receiving the first step. The second step won't be revealed to you, babe, until you take the first step. Angel Sarah is blessing you with ease, recognizing that once the first step is taken, it's nowhere near as hard as you thought, how hard you thought it was going to be. And that the angels are going to be blessing your transition, whatever transition this is, with ease. So may this serve you. And thank you all so much for being here. Okay, we're bringing my guest back on here. Yes, welcome back. And remove that. And make sure you guys are claiming that in the comment section below. We got Sherry McQueen claiming it. Jessica, do you have any thoughts on this?
I'm all in with the positivity. Everything. I have some different things going on right now, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna worry about it. That's normally my thing anyway. So this is just total confirmation. Not gonna worry about it.
Just surrender it. All right. So we have here, I'm going to pick a card for everybody very quickly. We have Sherry McQueen, Renata. All right. Let's see. For Sherry McQueen, we're picking for you. A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. There's something here that's about to transition or show itself to you. So recognize that you're about to have your answer. Okay. So keep taking action towards the conclusion of this story. Lori Giannetta, I see you. Lori Giannetta, you have being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. So it's just saying balance. Are you too tight in your wallet because you're scared to spend, or are you spending too much? Whichever one it is, try to balance that out with the opposite energy. We have, let's see, Uriel, you're still here. Uriel, I have for you. Too much going on at once, the need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach, Uriel. And if you're still here, let me know. And for you, my friend, Jessica, I'm going to pull for you specifically.
Uh-oh.
I'm dead right now. A relationship that continues to grow closer.
Ooh.
Forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict.
Oh, wow. You funny. Whoa. Okay. Okay.
Oh, Renata, did I do yours already, or did I just say your name and not do it? And for Renata, it's time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation will provide answers for you, my dear. All right. So that's what I have for you. What are your final thoughts on this, my friend?
Well, we're not going to talk about that card there, but I'll keep you abreast. I'll let you know.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things that I can definitely say is just be still. Be still and know what it is that you are hearing. And the only way to do that is to be still. While you're being still, you need to be praying. You need to be meditating. You need to be on one accord. And I think that that's a lot of times what people miss. It's like you're not just waiting to hear something, but while you're waiting, you're praying, you're reading. And
yes,
you're
creating the opportunity so that you can meet opportunity when it arrives. Exactly. And for your angel blessing, my friend, you have happiness and prosperity.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for that too. Let everybody at home know where they can get a hold of you, please, and how they can get a hold of you and what you offer.
So first, I would just like to encourage anybody that's struggling with self-esteem issues or relationship issues or food issues, definitely check out the book. That's actually what's behind me over here. Wait, I'm pointing the wrong way. What's behind me over here? Confessions of a Butterfly, Relationships, Food, and Self-Esteem. And even if you're not big on reading, the book pretty much is 84 pages. And it's all get out. It's the best way I can say it's an adult book. I definitely wouldn't buy it. My nieces have not read it because it is about confessions and some things that I did in life. And if you just want more information, if you want me to come speak at something that you have going on, reach out to me and we can put that together. My email address is Jessica at butterinspired.com. The butter is for butterfly. I used to be a caterpillar, but I have progressed and I have grown to be a butterfly because I'm something new and I'm something better and I'm definitely improved and not in the space or the place that I used to be. So reach out to me, get the book. I promise it will bless you. Even if you don't get it for yourself, you can get it for someone else. It was definitely a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to be here with you, Dominique. Full freaking circle. And I'm so glad that you were open and listened because there's so many people that have not listened and that because they didn't listen, they were not blessed the way you were blessed when the pandemic hit. So kudos to you. My hat's off to you for every single thing that you do for people because your heart is open and your heart is open because your spirit is open. And I absolutely love you and I wish you all
thank you
the
so
best
much.
in life.
Oh, well, it was a pleasure having you and an honor having you back here and seeing what has transcended in your life in the last 2 years. And I'm hoping that in 2 more years, we'll be together again doing something even bigger and greater and more amazing. And I'm so honored to have you here. And if anyone at home knows someone, or if you, Jessica, know someone who's had a divine encounter, please let them know about this show because a girl has to fill a slot every Wednesday at Divine Encounters at e360tv.com. I'm looking for your inspirational, supernatural story times that will motivate people, uplift people, and let people recognize and know that they are not alone in their lives and that there is a support system behind them. And in order for that to be heard, they just have to create the divine experience within their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that in stillness and in silence, and also even in movements. We don't just have to do meditation. We can dance. We can walk in nature. We can watch the flowing river or watch the butterfly fly. Allow yourself to connect to something other than something that's trying to convince you into something, out of something, or for something.
Exactly.
We need to find that neutrality. For all of you guys at home, it has always been a pleasure. I love doing this show from the bottom of my heart and may continue to grow and prosper. In the next few months, I'm going to still be traveling, so things are going to be changing. But I'm so grateful and honored to be here, like I said. Till Sunday when we do your horoscopes at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys tune in for that so you can receive your blessing. Remember that those blessings are not messages. They are blessings that you need to claim into your energy field because the angels want to assist you. May you all go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao.
Bye.